Let's get it, let's go, let's grow. It's your boy Monty, and I want to welcome you back to another episode of Move Maker Podcast. And today I'm excited because you are in for a treat. I had the pleasure of sitting down with my homie, George Pitts, aka Mr. Monetize Everything. Everything. He is an expert online business coach and strategist, and he has been absolutely crushing it. And today, you're going to learn how he went from being laid off from his 9-to-5 to generating over $500,000 in the middle of a pandemic. It's a game-changing story, one that's going to inspire you. So sit back, relax, and get ready to hear all of these gems that he's about to drop. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit that bell so you stay tuned for all the other amazing episodes that we have coming. Let's get it, let's go, let's grow. I happen to have a phenomenal guest. One of the people that I look up to, I get inspired by, and somebody that I definitely encourage every single one of you to find a way to rub elbows with, even if it's just through social media. And he goes by the name of George Pitts, aka Mr. Monetize Everything. Everything. This guy is an absolute beast, man, generating hundreds of thousands of dollars in the digital space and teaching people how to do it too. And that is a major key. So without any further ado, I want to just bring George into this conversation, man. And I want you to just introduce yourself, man. Let everybody know who you are and what you do. Appreciate you being here, man.
Absolutely, man. Well, thank you so much for bringing me onto the podcast, man. I'm really been excited about this episode, man, because I just love your energy. We've been on Instagram together, Clubhouse together, so I know what you bring, man. So I've been excited. But for those who do not know who I am, my name is George Pitts. I'm an online business coach and strategist. What I do is I teach coaches, content creators, and those in the 9-to-5 how to turn their knowledge into profits by showing them how to create their own digital products that supplement their knowledge. I've worked with people from, everywhere from accounting professionals, teaching them how to turn their experience into a digital course and other digital products to help people who aren't accounting majors be able to manage their books and taxes and things like that. We've worked with teachers and shown teachers how to create courses to help parents who are homeschooling their kids, how to teach them and how to do it. So we've taught people in many different mediums how to take what it is that they know that many people think, oh, I can't teach anybody how to make money. No one's interested in what I have to say. That's like a huge misconception. And we've been able to show them how to find their audience, how to pour into their audience, and most importantly, how to monetize their audience. So yeah, man, that's what I do. And I absolutely love it. And man, it's just a beautiful thing.
Oh, it absolutely is beautiful, man. I mean, what a time that we're living in right now, where you can take your knowledge, you can take your expertise, you can take something that you're passionate about, and you can create a service out of it or a product out of it and find people out there who want it and make money off of that. And right. Obviously with COVID and just lockdowns and so many types of restrictions, physical restrictions, social restrictions, it's super imperative for people to learn how to capitalize on this digital space where you really have no limit, right? You can reach masses of people all across the world with your message, with your product, with your service, and you can build a lifestyle around that. And what I love about, what you're doing is, and what you mentioned is that you teach this stuff to people who are working 9-to-5 jobs. Now, we're digital entrepreneurs, right? And there's a lot of people out there that kind of not shame, but they talk down on people who work a 9-to-5 as if it's a sin, or as if I'm holier than you because right. I don't work a 9-to-5 job. When the reality is there are a lot of serial entrepreneurs out there that generate six figures in the online space, in the digital space, while working a 9-to-5 job, man. So
I was one of them.
Okay, and you are one of them, man. Yeah. So this is why I'm super excited to have this conversation with you, man. So let's kind of go back to the beginning, right? So you're online business coach. You work with people from all different spectrums, right? In life, all different stages in their life, whether they're, whether they have a job, they work full-time, part-time, they don't work at all, they're trying to get something off the ground, everything in between. Where did you get started, right? I want to hear about that journey because I know there are people listening to this right now who are like, I work a job. I don't think I have time. I got ideas, but I'm not confident enough to put time into it to see what happens with it. So take us back to the beginning of your journey. Like, what led up to you getting into the online space and doing what you're doing now?
Yeah, man. So it's funny. It started with a job. So I was working for a company back in 2009. And I was a contractor. So my background's in tech. And I was a contractor. And when my contract was up, they were like, yo, George, we really like you. We really love your personality. We think you would be a good fit here. We don't have any we don't have any positions in the IT department, but we'd like to bring you into payroll. We have an open position there, and we would be willing to train you. You'll get benefits. You'll be a full-time worker. We know you're young and just got married. So, you know, you would be able to have benefits and an income, and you can make a good career out of this. And I was early in my tech career. So I was like, okay, you know, they're going to pay me more money an hour. I'm going to get great benefits. It was for a huge hotel chain. So I get, you know, these hotels that are $150, $200 a night, I get for $25 as an employee, and my benefits are super cheap. So I'm like, why? Yeah, of course I would. So I'm working there, and about 2 months goes by, and I work in payroll. So I'm in charge of all the hotels in Hawaii. So I have to work from 3 to 11 because that's 8 to 5 in Hawaii, pretty much. So what happened was there were some people that had like certain things that they weren't getting their checks sometimes, that they had wrong deductions, child support, because I'd never done payroll before and I didn't get any formal training. So I went to my director and I said, hey, I'm struggling and I really need some help. I really want to be successful in this job. I didn't get any, you know, experience or any training when I came here. I really want to sit with someone and just be able to do it. And she said, George, that was the reason I hired you, because you're honest, you're transparent. I'm going to make sure you're successful in this job and give you all the training that you need. We're going to make you successful. The next day, she had my manager sit with me. And at the end of the day, my manager's like, hey, I need to drop off some papers to HR. Do you mind coming with me? And then I want you to walk me out. Because it was late. It was winter time, so it gets dark early. So I go there. HR lady comes out and she says, okay, Mr. Pitts, are you ready? It's like, ready for, I'm ready to go home. You know what I'm saying? And long story short, man, we sat down and she's like, so I understand that you guys have decided to part ways. And I said, what? And I was like, I don't know what you mean by that. What do you mean? And she's looking at me confused, like, well, I got the paperwork here. It says you went to them, you guys both decide. And I said, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And she went like this, like she was like, they just set me up. Like she could tell that they set her up and they set me up. You know, you could just tell on her face, like this was wrong, you know. And she said, she took her glasses off. She's like, Mr. Pitts, we're in an at-will state. And what that means is that we can say this was a big misunderstanding. You can come back to work tomorrow and they will fire you. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Wow.
Or we'll put this down as a resignation. I'll give you a month of severance. And, you know, you can go on and have a good record here. And I was just numb. And it was 2 weeks before Christmas. And we were living paycheck to paycheck. Yeah, December 15th, 2009. I remember. So it's 10 days before Christmas. Wow. And, you know, I don't want to make this story too long, but I just remember that, you know, I went home, I told my wife, and I was just like, I felt defeated. And when we didn't have remote starts, so the next morning I'm starting her car because she worked from 6 a.m. till 3. And then she was getting ready for work. I sit in her car and let it warm up until she comes out. So it's safe and it's nice and warm when she gets in it. And bro, I just remember seeing her drive off. And after I didn't see her taillights anymore, I kept thinking in my head, my wife's going to work to take care of me, a man. Ooh. And I just remember crawling in bed and like starting to get depressed. It was about 5:45 in the morning to about 11. I just laid there with my jacket and flip flops and ashy legs still there because it was cold. And I just remember hearing God say, "Get up and figure it out." And I went in the next room, man, and I started looking at how to make money online, how to work from home. Because, you know, if you ever lost a job during the holidays, no one's hiring till like February, you know, because everybody's out on vacation. And I started learning about internet marketing and building websites, doing SEO. And that's how I got into the online space.
Wow. So it was not by choice necessarily. Right. It was because you had something stripped away from you. It was
Right.
there was sort of an element of desperation, like
Survival.
it's out, right? Like
Survival.
fight or flight. I gotta figure this out.
Yeah. Exactly.
Ashy legs and all. I don't
Ashy
care.
legs and all, man.
I love it, man. So, okay. So what was like your first gig or first opportunity after? Because I'm assuming that you started looking up these courses, you started learning how to design websites.
Right.
You started doing some research on how you can find people who need websites and all that stuff. So take us through that process, because this is something that I know a lot of people have either gone through or are going through, or unfortunately are about to go through, right? So your story can kind of help them understand just the time frame, the mentality, the process, and the journey. So how long did it take before you found yourself ready to pick up your first client, right? And what was that opportunity? What service did you provide them?
Oh man, this is a good one. So I joined this website called Warrior Forum. It was before Facebook groups were big. And what it was a website for internet marketers. So the guy that started EverWebinar, KC something, he was on there. Russell Brunson was on there. I'm talking about like people that y'all know now as these heavy hitters. They were on this site. So I bought this guy's course. It was $97. And it was a course teaching you how to build niche WordPress sites. And so what the strategy was that he was going to teach you how to build a niche website and sell it to a company. So for instance, you would learn how to build a plumbing website, and you call plumbing companies that don't have websites, say, hey, I built a website. I'm willing to put your branding on it for this, and you can rent it for this much.
Oh, that's slick.
It was a really good strategy, and it worked. But I started thinking, I was like, man, I could actually do better with this, right? This is where my strategy, birthing came. So what I did was, he was talking about, go on Google, search for plumbers in your area and see who doesn't have a website. Well, I took it a step further. I went to Craigslist's services page. If you remember Craigslist, they had a services section that you could go in, and like, there's people like, hey, we'll do your taxes. Hey, we help people with divorces, or we help estate planning, attorneys, accountants, tax preparers. So I'd reach out to them and say, hey, my name is George. I'm interested in your services. Do you have a website that I can go and view your services? As a website designer, I just like to go on people's website and learn more about their businesses. And I would send about 30 of those a day. But the great thing was, people would respond back, no, we don't have a website, but you can give me a call here and learn more about my services. But I'm really interested to hear more about yours as well. And I was like, okay, cool. So I would call and act like I was interested in getting my taxes done, or I was interested.
But you wasn't.
Right. Or I was interested in a divorce. I'm a happy newlywed, or something like that. And it was funny because my wife had saw like all these like things like divorce attorney, like on Gmail on my computer. She was like, what's going on? And I had to tell her. And I was like, and I was showing her like all the other stuff, like tax preparation. I was like, and she was like, okay, all right, cool. But it was funny because she was coming to get on my computer for something. She saw all this stuff in my Gmail, Craigslist, divorce attorney, Craigslist, estate planning attorney, so it was a disaster, but it ended up being cool. But so we would talk maybe 2 minutes about their services. And then all of a sudden they were like, oh, so tell me about your web design services. What do you do as far as websites go and different things like that? And before I knew it, we were talking more about me building a website for them than we were about the services that I was or was not interested in. Wow. And man, I started doing, so my first client was out of a city about 45 minutes from here. She was an estate planning attorney. And I got to tell this story because you guys got to hear this, because this is where imposter syndrome came in. So she's like, I would love for you to come in, speak to me and my assistant. We'll talk about what you can do, and you can help us build a site. So I took off work that day. I took, because I had just got another job, but it was like the February 8th or something. So I took off from work, took PTO, drove out there. I had only been at work for like 2 weeks. That's crazy. Now that I think about it, but I drove out there and sat with her, and we're sitting there, and I'm just going over, I got this PowerPoint up, and I'm like explaining it, and she's having this thing, and she's looking at her watch, and she's like twiddling her thumbs, and you could tell she just didn't want to be there. And I was thinking she's not interested. And so she finally takes a deep breath. She's like, George, I'm very busy. and I've got a lot of stuff to do. How much would you charge to build me a website, 4 or 5 pages with some colors and everything like that? And I said, well, it depends on if you want. She pulled out her checkbook. She got her pen like this and went, tell me how much it is so I can go back to work. And I said, $600. And she said, here you go. Talk to my assistant. I could have told that lady $2,000 she would get to me.
Whoa, time out. Okay. Now listen, this is huge. So you mean you're going through this presentation. Obviously, she's giving you all the signs that she's in a rush. She's impatient. She's got to go. And then she asked you for the price, and you talked about imposter syndrome. So you were like, oh man, I don't know. You don't want to lose this deal, right?
Right.
You don't want to lose this deal. So now you're undervaluing yourself, and you just throw out $600. Meanwhile, there's website designers that'll charge you $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for 2 pages, right? Okay. So you throw out $600, and she immediately gives you a look like, really?
That's it. And then writes the check.
Listen,
rips it off, gives it to me, and walks out.
This is a teaching point because you got to understand this as you're getting into digital entrepreneurship. I got to say this, like, the faster somebody is to pay you the price that you give, the higher you should be charging. I'm just going to put that out. If somebody is quick to pay you what you ask for without any hesitation, that means you probably need to double whatever it is that you charge. But that's crazy. Go ahead, keep telling that story, man. I love it.
No, man. And so her assistant was there, and she was just like, so just I'll get you all the stuff you need. Just tell me what you need. I said, well, I just need a couple pictures of her. I need to just a short bio of her, what services you guys offered in the law firm, your email address you want people to email so I can connect your contact page, and whatever she wants on the homepage, if she can send me 3 or 4 websites that she likes. She's like, oh, I've already got the list of 3 or 4 websites. We've already found some. Here you go. And she's like, is that it? And I was like, yeah. She's like, okay, I'll get it to you this afternoon. And they got it all to me. I was able to get the website built. And that lady was one of my best customers because, again, my background was in tech. So I was good at fixing computers and things. So she also hired me to be their tech person on the side to fix their computers, different things like that. And I ended up being like a resource for them for like a couple of years. I mean, she was just a really awesome lady. And that was my first like real client when it came to like building websites for myself, doing internet marketing and SEO. It literally just that moment made me realize just how real the online space was. And like my mind and the way that I thought about making money never was the same again. And I just literally relentlessly pursued getting to where I'm at now. I pursue that for the next several years.
Wow, that's incredible. And what I'm really interested in knowing is like the time frame, right? How long did it take you to learn how to build a website, right? And how long did it actually take you to build that website that you built for that lady that gave you your first gig?
So it took me about maybe 2 weeks to learn how to build a website. Because I mean, it was very detailed, and it was WordPress. WordPress is pretty easy because you really go and find a theme, and then you install that theme. Then it's just basically replacing. Right. It was kind of Wix and WordPress, or Wix and Squarespace before Wix and Squarespace. I think Wix and Squarespace is slightly easier, but WordPress was just a lot better. It integrated and stuff. So it took me about 2 weeks to learn it. The course that the guy was selling was really good because it was really thorough. And I learned the more detailed you are, the better I learn. And what ended up happening was that once I built her website, which took me about 3 weeks, because they're like, oh, can you change it to this color yellow? Or can you put this color blue? And it was like a lot of adding and stuff. And like I said, I ended up, I was just so happy to make that $600. But looking back on it, I'm like, man, I should have charged way more. But it took me about 3 weeks to finish it. It was done in a week, but then they were like, oh, we want to do this. We want to add that. So took me about 3 weeks to finish it. But man, after that, like things just blew up because she started telling everybody. Because the complex that her office was in was a legal complex. So it was nothing but attorneys who were renting offices, and so they were like, who did your website? So I was getting text messages and emails every day from different attorneys.
Wow.
And I ended up getting to where I was just too overwhelmed with building websites, because I would literally work 6 a.m. to 2:30. I would come home and, cook dinner, put it in the oven for my wife. And from 4 o'clock to like midnight, I'm building websites.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I was making more money building websites than I was in my job.
That's what I was going to ask you next. I was going to ask, like, at what point did it start to flip? And I think that is, I'm blown away, man, because when you think about it, right? Like, and let me just ask you in general, right? For the same type of web design service that your first client wanted, about how much would you charge now? Like a range in terms of how much you would charge for when you think back at how much work you did for her in general.
I should have minimally, back then, I should have charged her about $2,000 back then.
$2,000.
Yeah, websites are a lot easier to make, them more common now. But back then it should have been, especially with all the revisions and adding and stuff, it should have been about $2,000.
Hey, what's up? Real quick, I know you're enjoying the episode. I just wanted to pop in here and I wanted to let you know that if you are trying to use Instagram to grow a brand, become an influencer, build a community, or monetize and make money, but you're struggling with your strategy, you're struggling to find your target audience, listen, I want to help you out. Follow me on Instagram at Monty Lands. Tap the bell icon on my profile to turn post notifications on so that you don't miss any of the value that I share. And hey, listen, don't hesitate to shoot me a DM and say hello, because I'd love to chat with you. All right, follow me on Instagram and I can't wait to help you get to the next level. All right, back to the episode. Okay, $2,000. And on a monthly basis, about how many websites would you say you're able to build, right? Like now with all the skills that you've acquired.
Well, I don't build them no more, but
at your best,
at my best,
yeah.
At my best, if I was doing it and pricing it the right way, 3 to 4.
3 to 4.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's just create this hypothetical situation, right? You spent 2 weeks, right, learning the skill, right? You found something online.
Yeah.
And you found a guy that had a course. You paid $97 to take a course that taught you skills within 2 weeks that enabled you to be able to provide a service that at your peak you could make $6,000 to $8,000 a month from.
Right.
And you were essentially making more money with this new skill that you developed from investing $97. You were able
crazy, right?
Bro, it's mind blowing, but I'm literally getting goosebumps. Look at this. Like,
I see them.
It's mind blowing because it goes to show you how much opportunity there is. And I'm a very spiritual person. So it's like just the power of, obviously you lost faith, right? When you lost that job, it was a gut check, but you still hung on to that mustard seed of faith that, listen, I gotta figure something out. This had to happen for a reason. And you said God told you were laying down, ashy legs, tired, 5:45 in the morning. Your wife just left. You're like, oh my God, she's going to work to take care of me. It should be the other way around. And in that moment, you're like, God said to me, I need to get on up and figure it out, right? Mm-hmm. And you moved on that calling. You moved on that faith. And in a what I would say short period of time, because when you look at it, it didn't really take that much time. You were able to develop a skill that eventually paid you more than what you were making working a job. Right. So, and I know from that point on, you said it, that your perspective on the online space and making money and being a digital entrepreneur, it changed forever. Right? It absolutely changed forever. So that's the encouragement that I want people to get from this segment of the conversation. Like, yo, things are going to happen. They may be unfortunate, but sometimes situations happen to push you outside of your comfort zone and step into what your actual calling is. And you just got to be ready to embrace it. Right? Mm-hmm. It's about having that mentality that nothing is happening to me. Things are happening for me. And I will have moments where I don't understand exactly what it is that's happening for me, but I know there's some higher purpose that this circumstance is channeling me towards. And right. You found that, you embraced that, and you ran with it, man. So what was the next chapter after that? Obviously, you were doing website design for a while, but you had to transition into something else. Because I know just as a business-minded person, you're always on to the next idea. You let it evolve. Mr. Monetize everything. So let's talk about the next chapter after that. What did you get into?
Well, after I kind of got into websites, I ended up scaling it because I couldn't handle the workloads, right? I started having people at my job like, hey, you know what I'm saying? What are you doing on the side? Because I went and bought a car, you know what I'm saying? I went and bought a 300. It was something I always wanted. I went and bought my wife an SUV, and they're like, you make as much money as we do. Like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I do websites on the side. So it started getting around, and I was getting so many things that I started hiring people on this site called Odesk. And which is basically I was hiring people to build the WordPress sites for me. So I'd hire someone in like the Philippines, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan. I'd pay them $150, and I was charging like $800-900 because at that point I was still charging cheap prices, but I had someone that was doing them now. So my job was just to manage and project manage the process, and whatever changes that they wanted, it was just like, George, can you do this, this, and this? I would just do it because I knew how to do it, and it was quick. So I went from spending all my evenings doing that stuff to maybe 2 or 3 hours in the evening, just like, hey, where are we at on this? Send me some mock-ups, whatever. And like you said, it was on to the next thing. So what ended up happening next was, I got that business going. It was running really good. I had SEO clients that were paying me a monthly thing to manage their sites and all this other stuff. Was hosting everything through GoDaddy. And then, so I was at work one day, and I was like, I've been an Android guy for years. And then all of a sudden I was like, let me try out this iPhone thing. So my next phone that I got, me and my wife, was the iPhone 4S. And I liked it. I still liked it, how you could customize Android, but I ended up like really liking the simplicity of iPhone, right? And so I was like, man, I was talking to someone at work. I was like, man, I got the iPhone. He's like, man, you kept buying, like, you had a Galaxy like every 6 months or whatever, because I was buying phones like crazy. Like, when you were making money, you just do what you want. And he's like, so what are you going to do with all your phones? Like, man, I'm going to just put it on Craigslist or whatever and sell them. He's like, no, man, you should put it on eBay. I was like, eBay? Does anybody even still use eBay, man? That was back in the like 90s, early. He's like, man, you'll be surprised. You'll probably make more money on it if you put it on eBay. So I came home that night. I was knocking out a few things with, matter of fact, we had just built this home and my desk was over here. So I just finished knocking out some things, and I just happened to look over to my left, and my Galaxy was sitting there. I was like, let me go ahead and take some pictures of this and put this on eBay or whatever. So I take some pictures of it. I put it on eBay, turn off my light, getting ready to go in bed and take a shower. I get to the bathroom to turn on the shower. My phone goes off and the phone is soaked. And I'm talking about, like, bro, you're talking about 5 to 7 minutes. Like,
what?
And I said the same thing. What? And I was like, what? So I ran back in my office. I pulled it up. Your phone has been sold. Please prepare to ship. Here's the information. You could buy your label on ebay.com, and it's cheaper. So like, I buy the label, I print it and get it all together. My wife's like, what's all this commotion going on? It's like 10 o'clock at night. I was like, I just sold the phone. Bring me your phone now. Bring me your phone that's in your dresser. So I get it all packaged up, put her phone on. I'm all excited. I put it in the laundry room where my keys are on top of it, so I won't forget it the next morning. And next morning I wake up, check my phone, her phone sold.
Wow.
Like, what? And bro, like, they had sold for more money than I was going to sell them for on Craigslist. So what I ended up doing was I got to work. I couldn't concentrate. I was on Craigslist pretty much at least 4 hours that day. And I had set up 8 meetings to buy these Android phones that were like $50-$60 that I knew I could get for $150 on eBay. And I bought 6 of them.
Wow. And
I started an eBay business. And that's kind of what propelled me into the online course space.
Wow. All right, hold up. So this was essentially unplanned. It was kind of accidental. You just wanted to come on into the iPhone world, right? You want to start seeing those little blue messages pop up. That's all you was trying to do.
That's all I was trying to do, man. That's all I was trying to do. That's it. That's it, bro. Like, that was it.
And all of a sudden, you were going to put it up on Craigslist. You had a friend that said, yo, listen, put it on eBay. You'll make more money.
Right.
You list it. Get ready to go take a shower. Within 5 to 7 minutes, your phone goes off. Your cell phone is sold. And not only has it sold, it's sold for more than what you would have made on Craigslist. You go get your wife's phone. You list it. By the next day, her phone is sold.
Yep. It's sold overnight.
Overnight. So now, wait a minute. There's an opportunity here. And this is extremely important because part of being an entrepreneur, right, especially in the digital spaces, being able to recognize opportunities, right? And there's no confusion to me, and I'm assuming while people are listening to this, there's no confusion for them why you are Mr. Monetize everything. All right. So boom, you were able to sell these phones, and then you said, you know what? I'm gonna go to Craigslist. I'm gonna buy a bunch of phones at this low price, and I'm gonna resell it on eBay, and I'm gonna start a little business out of that.
Yeah.
Genius. Can I ask you, how long were you running that side operation, and about how much did you generate just from doing that part-time on the side?
I've actually pulled up the pictures while you were just talking. I went on my Google Photos so I can show you as well all the phones I got, because I took pictures of everything. I'll show you the whole operation so you can see, so it's not, no one can say, oh, he's capping. Like I got receipts. So I ended up selling all of those phones. I had 8 meetings set up. 2 people didn't show up. The other 6 did. I bought them immediately. They were $60.
Wow.
I ended up selling those phones for $150 minus my shipping and eBay fees. I made about $135, something like that, per phone. So I ended up making close to $900 just from selling those phones in 1 week.
Oh my!
And my paychecks at the time were $1,200 every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, bro. Every 2 weeks. So I'm making $900 in a week, and I'm making $1,200 every 2 weeks from my 9 to 5. So I was like, this is it. So I just kept buying those phones, and I was literally buying them so fast, like it was crazy. But here's the part that you're really gonna love. This is what really made me a bad man. I started finding phones on eBay that people were selling for Craigslist prices. So I would buy those phones. Watch this. The moment I got the shipping confirmation that the phone had been shipped, I would list the phone, and the phone would be sold before I would even get it.
Oh, you gangster.
Yeah.
Oh, you was on it.
I was like, literally, I was sitting here like, I hope this phone is in good as condition as the photos say, because I literally already had the phone sold. I would buy it for 40, 60, 70 bucks, and I was already selling it for 120, 150 bucks. All I was waiting on, as soon as I got the confirmation your phone has been shipped, I automatically put it up for sale, and it would sell within 24 hours because I knew how to make the titles, and I knew what kind of pictures to use. Like I had got it down to a science psychologically what people wanted to see.
Right.
So if the phone was a white iPhone, I already had great photos because I had a photo booth, I had the lighting. So I already had a really nice, clean, like images of what they should look like.
Wow.
Because the phones that they would put up there, they were taking them with dirty lensed phones, and it looked all, there were spots, and they would take it where the sunlight was on it. So the picture didn't look good, so people would scroll right past it.
Yeah.
But I would just reach out to them like, can you send me a clear phone? Just put it like on the cabinet, just the front of the back. They would send it to me. I'm like, great, I'll buy it. I already knew how good the phone actually looked, but their quality of pictures didn't represent it on the public notice.
Right.
So they weren't getting any hits. So they would sell it really cheap. And then you had, when eBay introduced the make an offer deal where you could like offer less, it was game over. And I ended up generating that year $32,836. I remember it in my first year flipping iPhones, and then I ended up flipping iPhones, and I did Androids, but then I got into flipping the iPhones, the older ones. Wow. And then I started getting into the accessories and all that other stuff, and it became a wrap.
That's incredible. First of all, let me give you a quick clap, give you some flowers, because I mean, for some people, that's a full-time income, right? Yeah. That's a full-time income. And you're doing this at home from your laptop, right? after work, sometimes during work, right? Lunch break, bathroom break.
Right.
Any break you got, you out here generate an extra $32,836. And it all happened from not by accident. It was unintentional where it started from. So, I mean, like, this just goes to show that there's no excuse, right? There's no excuse not to take advantage of the online space, the digital marketing space, because there are people out there that there's a group of people that have a desire for every type of thing that you can think of. It's just a matter of actually putting yourself out there to find them, right? And I love how you talked about understanding human nature and human psychology, because just take how we are. Look at yourself. Look at your personal buying habits. Think about the things that the criteria that you set in order to buy something. What matters to you? Packaging, right? Does the literature, right? The copy, does that make a difference in when you buy things? Does the sale, the price, the number, right? Are you quicker to buy something that's $97 than you are to buy something that's $100 but has the same exact value? Like, little things like that play a major role in your ability to capitalize financially in the online space, man. So I think that's super dope, man, because I'm pretty sure every single person that's listening to this, they probably got a little phone that's in the drawer right now. They ain't using it, right? To them, it's old news.
Right.
But it's out there like, yo, listen, I just need a phone. It could be a flip phone. I'll buy it right now. You know what I'm saying? We all have something laying around in our house that we could sell, make a profit, and we can flip it. We could turn it into some type of business, right?
Right.
Working a job. I'm gonna keep throwing that in there because I feel that's one of the biggest reasons why people who could be successful in the online space, in the digital space, don't do it, because they think, oh, like I don't think I have the time. I don't think I have the ability. I don't think I have the right ideas, but it's possible. And there's no excuse around it. So
no excuse.
I love it, man. Yeah. And you're an example of that, man. So it's exciting to have you sharing that, because I didn't know that part of your journey. Right. So we just connected on Clubhouse maybe 8 months ago, whatever the case is. And, I know you out here making moves, man. you a move maker, right? This is Move Maker Podcast. I know my man George is out here making moves, but just knowing where it all started. And what I think is important to emphasize on is the fact that your connection to entrepreneurship and mentally evolved over time. That entrepreneurial spirit started to evolve because you were willing to actually take a risk. You were willing to put yourself out there. You were willing to learn a new skill. And that's what that people are picking up on as we listen to this, man. So let's fast forward to a little bit. Let's talk about coaching, right? Like, because you're a business coach and a business strategist, right? Mm-hmm. So walk me through the process of taking my knowledge. I have knowledge, right? Mm-hmm. I am very skilled at something, or I have a lot of knowledge about something, but I don't know how to monetize it. With you being my coach, what are just the ground level steps that you would tell me I need to take to get myself out there and in position to monetize my knowledge or my gift or my experience?
Well, the first thing that I would do, and I do this with everyone, is just getting you to identify what exactly that knowledge and experience is, right? Because most people, they don't know. They say, well, I know this and I know that, or people say I'm good at this and people say I'm good at that, but they don't have that confidence in it. They think, but no one's really going to want to know that. No one's really going to want to know this. So what I do is I say, okay, the thing that you say that people don't know, what is it about it that people don't know about it? What's a misconception? And then their wheels start turning. Oh man, well, what they don't know, like, I'll give you an example. One of my clients, he has a business that we started that his wife was telling him he really should start, called Dad Doula. And so what it is when his wife was pregnant, she had a doula, and, she's getting all this support during the pregnancy. They did an at-home birth. And he was like, well, what about me? I'm the father. Like, what is something out there for me? And the doula was like, there isn't many things for fathers out there. You should do it. So for him, he was just like, okay, like, I don't know why people would want to hear this. This is just basic stuff. Fathers should know how to be there for their wives when they're pregnant, all this other stuff. She's like, you'd be surprised that you didn't. So when I first came to him, when he first came to me, he was just like, George, I don't know why anybody would want to know this. So I would say, okay, well, so I said, okay, man, so tell me some things that's a misconception about this. And he was like, well, a misconception is the fact that, you know, fathers don't know that they can make decisions on behalf of their wife, you know, so that it's just not the doctors and the wife when your wife's doped up on all these drugs. Another thing that fathers don't know, and he just started going. So it's all about asking you the right questions, because if you come to me a lot of times, unless you already know what you want to do, a lot of times you're going to think that what you could do or what you're good at, no one's going to want to know, because to you, it's basic. It's like, everybody should know this. This is basic knowledge. And it's not. So I have to ask you the right questions. Mike, tell me something that is a misconception about social media and reels. Well, you know, a lot of people think that you got to do all this, or they think you got to dance all the time. They think you got to be funny. You just got to come out with good quality content. Okay, great. So why do you think people aren't doing it? The reason they're not doing it is because they think you got to do this. They think you, and all of a sudden you're pumping out all this stuff. So as your coach, I'm like, okay, let's slow down. Tell me again, and I'll start writing it down. I was like, here's your outline for all your content. This is how you're going to speak to your audience. The audience that's having this problem, you just told me they're an audience that they already have a brand, but they're not growing because they're not doing reels. And the reason they're not doing reels is because they don't want to shake their butt on reels. They don't know how to do the cuts and effects because they think you got to use some kind of nice software when it's all native through the app. They don't know this. And then so what ends up happening is you're going to be like, oh, I already knew this, and I already knew there was a market for it, and I already knew what people were struggling with. Yeah. But all I kept thinking was everybody was like me, and they just understood that. But you just didn't ask yourself the right questions. So once we have the right questions, then it's like, okay, what can you teach them to break down those limiting beliefs? Well, I can show them, George, that they can do this through the app. I can show them that they can do this through this. Okay, so if you show them that, what will they be able to do? They'll be able to create a good reel in less than 60 seconds. It'll take them less than 20 minutes to create the whole thing. If they do this consistently over this days and follow this pattern that I showed them, they're going to be able to grow at least 500 people a month. Okay. So the name of the course of the training could be how to grow your Instagram by 500 people a month, spending less than 20 minutes a day. Boom. Something along those lines. Yep. And then we just get busy. Okay. So what's the first step they need to take? What do they need to do first? How do they determine the topic? And we just start building that out. You know what I'm saying? What kind of worksheets do they need? What kind of instructional videos do you need to put together to show them specifically how to do it? And what are some of the exercises they need to do until they get it? Right. And then we'll close that module out. Okay, second module. Let's talk about captions. Okay, how do they do that? Okay, third module. Let's talk about hashtags. You mentioned that hashtags are important. Let's figure that out.
Are you familiar with Instagram Reels? If so, then you know it has become the most dominating form of content for people to consume on the platform, which means that if you are a brand owner, an influencer, you need to start doing Instagram Reels so that you can 10x, 100x, and 1000x your reach, your growth, and your income. If you are struggling with Instagram Reels, struggling to get engagement, struggling to get a lot of views, listen, I want to help you. Click the link in my Instagram bio and join the Reel community. It is a private community where content creators can support each other's reels, give each other engagement, and I can share tips, strategies, ideas, and give live feedback on your Instagram Reels to help you evolve as a content creator so that you can get to the next level. So follow me on Instagram, click the link in my bio, join the Reel community, and I look forward to helping you grow. All right. Back to the episode.
You know what I'm saying? And we just work through it. And then by the end of it, the main thing that I need people to tell me up front is what can the end result be if someone was to follow what you tell them step by step. The end result could be they could grow at least 500 followers. The end result could be they'll be able to support their wives and be able to make decisions so they can deliver a healthy baby. The end result could be they'll be able to list their first item on eBay and sell it within 72 hours. Once we know what the end result, we just work backwards. Okay, well, what are the steps we got to take to get there? And then we do it. But really, business coaching, what I learned later when I actually went and got formal training and became certified was business coaching is more about asking the right questions. The strategy side of me is where we take those questions and give you a strategy to put them together. So that's why I kind of do both. A lot of people think business coaching is, oh, it's a strategy. You just get a strategy and you just tell me what to do. Business coaching is you telling me what other people should do. And then I take off my business coaching hat, put on my strategy hat and say, okay, man, here's what you need to do with what you just told me. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always introduce myself as a business coach and strategist, because they're two different lanes.
Yeah.
That's what I would take you through.
Yeah, no, I love that, because I think it's very important for people to understand the mental side of it, right? And that's the thing is, what are the misconceptions? And that gets people to, first of all, identify all the solutions that they already have in their mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the answers that they already have. And that gives validation to the point that they understand, oh, wow, I actually do have value, because there are a lot of people who have this misconception. Right. There are a lot of people who are taking the wrong steps, or they're using the wrong resources, whatever it may be, based on the individual that you're working with. And that plays a major role in unlocking their confidence, right? Making them more confident that they can actually create something that's worth buying. And I went through this myself, right? I had that misconception. I had some of that imposter syndrome, right? Because, excuse me, I had, I in the beginning, when I started coaching for like Instagram strategy and all that, I was like, man, there's people out there that are way beyond where I'm at. There are people out there that they got hundreds of thousands more followers than I do. They got their website built out. They got, all these funnels and all these systems set up. They got assistants. Like, I don't got none of that shit. I'm not even qualified to do this. You know what I'm saying? And I started talking down on myself and discouraging myself. And then I had an epiphany, and I was like, wait a minute. Before people get to level 10, they have to cross level 1. And I might be a level coach, right? I might be a level 2 coach, but that doesn't mean I can't make money the same way that the level 10 coach is making it, because more people have to cross my step before they get to his step or her step, right? And not everybody wants to go up to level 10 with what they're doing, but they have to have level 1 and level 2 incorporated in them to have any success. So what I should do, right, as while I'm in the process of developing more skills and becoming a higher level coach myself, I want to master level 1 coaching. I'm going to master level 2 coaching. I'm going to go in on these levels to above and beyond all the coaches that are on level 10 and don't have the time to put as much energy into level 1 and level 2. You feel me?
Right.
And that was a breakthrough for me. And obviously picking up a bunch of different clients, the confidence goes up. It inspires you to start learning more, becoming more of an expert in your space. Now you have more value to offer. Now you can add more to your catalog of services and digital products. And one thing leads to another, man. So I love the fact that you really emphasize just the mental part of it, man. That's huge when it comes to coaching. It's like, and getting coached, right? Because people they hire a coach and they just give me the tools. Give me the resources. Give me the websites I need to use. Give me the steps. And it's like, you have to have the right mindset. You have to understand this process. You have to develop the confidence. You have to have a mentality of longevity, right? Because I can give you all the tools to build a house, but if I don't teach you the proper concept of how to properly put the nail into the wood, well, that house is going to break down when there's a little windstorm, because you don't understand how to actually put the nail in and why the nail needs to be put in that way. You just want the tools and you're just hammering all over the place and your house isn't really sturdy. You know what I'm saying? So I love that, man. And how important would you say it is? Because now we're talking about, creating these digital products, right? Whether you're a coach or you have like an actual product to sell. How important would you say it is for people who do want to get into the online space or the digital space or even social media, right? How important would you say it is for them to actually have a presence on social media itself?
Oh man, it's critical. It's critical. It's very critical, because if you don't have a presence, it's hard for people to even know what you do. Like, you need to be showing up every day. That's the part that I really want. If you don't take anything else from what I said in this podcast, you have to show up every day. Before there was like social media the way we know it now, there were forums. I showed up to that forums every day. I'm posting. I'm going through the post. I'm reading through it. I'm sending people private messages. They call them PMs on forums. But I'm showing up every day. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning. I'm putting myself out there. So I started getting people that were following me. And then I ended up selling a book on there and ended up making some money from it and did really well. What people have to understand is that if you don't have a presence, no one knows you exist. The only people that know you exist is your family and the government. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And your family is not going to stop expecting your family and friends to be the ones to support your business. There's 333 million people in the US. Though the 500 people you know and are related to is not enough, right? So, and number two, the government's not going to buy from you unless you're a government contractor, and you can become one. But guess what? You got to have a presence. So it's critical. I know that was a long way to answer it, but it's critical that you're showing up and you have a presence, because this is what establishes your authority in the marketplace. The people that are known for things, it's because they establish their authority in it. And the way that you establish your authority in it is by showing up. If the person that runs Tesla, if Elon Musk wasn't showing up, we wouldn't know his authority in that space, and neither would his employees if he was never showing up. If he just bought it when he sold PayPal to eBay and he never just showed up, he just let the company run, we wouldn't know Elon Musk's authority. Right? Same thing with Microsoft. Same thing with any other company you could think of. Jeff Bezos. They all showed up daily on these platforms and established their authority. What if Elon Musk wasn't showing up on social media the way he does? What I'm saying is that all those people have a presence on social media. So why shouldn't you? They got money. They've already hit the success, but they still show up every day. Why shouldn't me, you, and anybody else that wants to, get our place in the market? Why shouldn't we show up if we got the richest man in the world, the second richest man in the world, and so on and so forth are showing up? Why shouldn't we?
Man, you hit it, man. You hit it. That the power of presence, man, showing up. And that's the only way to establish authority. Like, and I tell people all the time, people don't know you exist until you show up in their feed. People don't know you exist until you show up in their notifications. And the only way that you can show up is by showing up. You got to show up. You got to show up. You got to put your content out there. And you use these social media platforms. Like, obviously my favorite is Instagram, right? And then, but you have TikTok, you have YouTube, you have all these other different platforms out there. But you use these social media platforms to put the content out. Number one is to be seen. That's number one, right? You need to be discovered. But number two is to basically put your skills or your knowledge on display. And that validates you as an expert, right? And then through that consistency, you're able to do what? You're able to garner and nurture a community.
Right.
And now, once you've garnered and nurtured a community, you become the one that they prefer to invest in or buy products or services from, despite the fact that there's thousands of other people out there who do what you do or sell what you sell, who they can buy their stuff from. They choose you because you showed up consistently. To them, that means you're reliable. That's the quality of reliability, right? You're putting value out there. That develops the quality of the character of trust, right? Now they trust you, right? And now they feel that much more comfortable saying, hey, I'm going to put my money in your pocket because I want your services. You've already proven to me that you know what you're talking about. You've already proven to me that you're reliable. I'm willing to go and buy from you, right? And it doesn't take that much, right? Like, people look at social media and posting content. Yes, it takes work. Yes, it can be tedious. But when you look at the grand scheme of it, when you think about how much time we spend on social media, not being purposeful, not being intentional, the little bit of time that it takes to actually be intentional and put content up on a consistent basis, it's not really that much, So as far as, what role does social media play in your ability to monetize in the digital space? How important is it to you to be on social media, to create content? How much of a role does that play in your journey and your career right now as a digital entrepreneur?
Well, for me, it's critical because it keeps me, number one, it keeps me relevant, but it keeps me allowing me to build that know, like, and trust factor, right? So the thing is that if you didn't show up, Monty, and if I didn't show up, people wouldn't know us.
Right.
If we just show up on someone's live one day and we have no other Instagram, no other Facebook, social media, whatever, for them to go see our stuff, but we're showing up on someone's live that's got 200, 300, 400 people in the live, and we're telling them how we can help them with reels, they wouldn't know if they can trust you, because you don't even got a page that shows that you do reels.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we wouldn't have anything for them to know us. We wouldn't have anything for them to trust us, and we wouldn't have anything to show our personalities for them to know if they like us. So doing those things is very important for me because I'm not for everybody. So I put content out, but I also put like tweets and stuff on my opinions on things that I feel strongly about. So now people get to determine if they like me. If the people don't like me, I want them to unfollow me, right? Because if you don't like me, I'd rather you not be on my page, bringing negative energy because you don't like me, than to just keep following me because of whatever. Like, so I make sure I'm very upfront with what I believe in on different things, right? And then, I go live, I talk about what I do. I have things in my story so people can get to know me. And then I put out different case studies, my carousels, my reels, and I talk about, give examples, give case studies, give strategies, and give them gems so they can decide if they trust me. Because the thing about it is that no one's going to be able to trust you if you refuse to put out content because you think someone's going to challenge you. People are always going to challenge you. I mean, you can put out something saying, I bought AT&T stock, and someone's going to challenge you. Why would you go and buy AT&T stock? Yep. It's like, what you, bro, like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me be me. Someone's always going to, you can talk about, I like to sing my son a lullaby before you go to bed. Oh, you shouldn't be singing to your kids. That's not good. Everyone's always going to challenge you. Right. Yep. Because there's always one way to do something. There's more than one way to do parenting. There's more than one way to invest. There's more than one way to grow your social media. There's more than one way to sell courses. Yeah. There's always more than one way to do something, but there's always that one person or group of people that feel that their way is the only way, and anything that explains how to do it outside of that is wrong. So you have to get used to that. You work in an environment where you give your opinions on something and they challenge you at work. Yep. So, it's not like we haven't lived a life where we haven't been challenged before. It's just that we feel now, because it's a public space, that we don't want to be challenged in public. In order for you to win the public battles, you got to be able to take on the public challenges. That's it. And the thing about it is that at the end of the day, no one's coming to your house to take you to jail for being wrong, unless you do something illegal. Right. And, the thing is that you establish yourself as an authority to the people that do buy into your way of doing something. So the good thing is, let's say that you get challenged by one person and 10,000 people see it, but 5,000 of those people actually agree with your way of doing it. You just establish yourself as an authority to 5,000 people. Boom. But you just gave the other 5,000 a reason to really think about, he did have some good points. I don't agree with it, but they're starting to think about it. So they might follow you too. So that's what people got to understand. You can't grow if you don't go through some challenges. That's it, man. And you can't expect everybody to agree with you. The goal is not to be liked by everyone. The goal is to attract the people who like you, right? Correct. And the only way you can attract them is to put yourself out there, put your content out there, and put your information out there. I love that, man. I love that emphasis, man. So for anybody that's listening to this and, you have your reservations about social media, you kind of stuck in a bubble or stuck in a shell, you got to get yourself out there, because I can guarantee you
Well, let me say almost guarantee you, not 100%, 99.999%. I can 99.999% guarantee you there are a group of people out there who would love to be a part of your tribe. They just don't know that you exist yet because you haven't gotten out there, right? So set up that social media, test out the different platforms to see which one is the most fun for you, the one where you could be the most productive, and the one that you enjoy, right? Find that platform, test all them out until you find it, and then start hammering down on sharing that value so you can actually attract your tribe, man. George, we got a few minutes left. So I want to ask you a couple questions, and then, we can wrap this thing up. But, you've been capitalizing in the digital space for a long time and in various ways, right? I know that we talked about the cell phone business that you had going on, right? We talked about the website business that you had going on. I know that you also are familiar with affiliate marketing. I know that you also have an online academy. All right, I had to step in here real quick because I know right about now you're probably still like, how in the world did this guy make $500,000 during a pandemic? Well, listen, George was smart. He has a wealth of knowledge in different industries. He knows how to get to the bag in different ways. So what he decided to do was create a series of online courses that he could market to the public and generate an income. And by automating that process, he was able to scale his sales to thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I'm talking about 5-figure months in sales. And if you're thinking to yourself right now, like, wait a minute, I have expertise as well. I have a deep wealth of knowledge in how to do technology stuff, how to do fitness stuff, nutrition, beauty, fashion stuff. Well, guess what? You can take that information, you can turn it into a course, and you can make money off of that as well. Now, if you're wondering how you can do that, thankfully, George created a course just for that. It's called Course to Profits, where he takes you step by step from A to Z, teaching you how to take that knowledge, organize it, structure it into a course, build a marketing strategy, and put it out to the public so you can generate thousands and thousands of dollars as well. If this sounds like something that you're excited to do because you want to add another stream of income to your wealth, you want to have another avenue to generate money, listen, you can do that. All you need to do is click the link in the description and purchase Course to Profits. Course to Profits. This is going to be your ticket to taking that information from your head and turning it into money in the bank. And luckily, because you're watching this episode, you get the Move Maker discount. Instead of paying the full price of $497, you can get access to it right now for a limited time for only $297. So when this episode is over, click the link in the description and make that purchase, or pause it right now and click the link in the description and make that purchase. And I promise you, it's going to be a game changer. There's been over several $100 billion generated in online courses. There's room for you to make money as well. So why wait? Let's make moves. All right, back to the episode. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's grow. So let's real quick, tell us, how many different digital products do you have up and running live that you're generating income from? And what is that bringing in on a monthly basis for you, if you don't mind sharing that?
So, I have a lot of different digital products, and every digital product I have is based off of something that I've done in my personal life or that I'm currently doing. So when a lot of people hear about me, oh, he just teaches people how to create a course so they can make money from creating a course, that's like MLM. And I had to correct somebody the other day, and when they went to my academy, they're like, oh, okay, I get it now. Before I taught people how to create courses and business coaching and stuff, I was doing courses. Like my first course was on eBay. That was my first course. It was the eBay masterclass. Then I did a course on drop shipping. I'm big into building wealth for my children's children. I take that scripture seriously. So I learned about stock investing, and I'm really passionate about dividend stocks because I like how they compound and things. So I have a course training on that. One of the things before we built this house, we made good money. I was making good money on doing websites, and we made good money by having 2 incomes in addition to that. But our credit was jacked, right? Our credit was jacked up. So we paid people, thousands of dollars, companies, individuals, never got anywhere after 3 years. So I took some time off work and I actually learned about credit. I took 2 weeks off instead of us going on vacation. I told my wife, we're not going on vacation this year, but I'm going to take 2 weeks off and I'm going to learn how to fix our credit. And I ended up doing a credit course credit repair masterclass, and that course has generated over 6 figures alone every single year since we launched it. We only do it 4 times a year. It's where we teach people how to fix their own credit, not do it for them. Because some people out here, they're good at it and some people are not, so I'd rather just teach people. But my online academy, like I said, we have courses and trainings on everything from, affiliate marketing, digital products, building wealth, getting your personal finance in order, everything that I've done in my life. That's what my courses and trainings are over. Wow. And, my online academy last year, just to give you a brief synopsis, we were, doing about 10 to 20,000 a month. And then we've scaled by the summer, we scaled up to doing 40 to 50,000. And it keeps eluding me, but we're very close to doing about 6 figures a month. We haven't got there yet. I'm just being transparent. I'm not going to lie and say, I'm doing 6 figures a month. I'm doing $1 million a year. Like, no, I'm still working on it, but we're getting very close. Like I said, it's just continuing to find the things that we need to do to tweak. I'm not really creating a lot more newer courses now. I'm just improving the ones that I currently have. I'm going back, learning different things, finding new strategies, putting in those videos and making them better, and then deciding what my marketing is going to be for them. Some things I don't even promote on Instagram. There's that I promote through like my ads and funnels or other platforms that I use, because I use Clubhouse as well, like Yep. Of course, Instagram. We're just getting on TikTok, and I just hired a person that that's doing my Pinterest. So we offer some different trainings on different platforms that we build different audiences on, and that's kind of the approach that I take, because I am so multifaceted. It could be hard to try to do all of that in front of one group and one platform, because they can get confused. So I have platforms that I leverage specifically for wealth and personal finance. This one for business and entrepreneurship. This one over here for, this. And it's worked really well.
That's dope, man. I mean, listen, on your way to 6K a month, 5K, 5 figures a month, 6 figures, sorry, not 6K. On your way to 6 figures a month, 5 figures a month is nothing to sneeze at or scoff at. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that are like, I could use for $5 a month, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I can use that for $5. Yeah. Hey, listen, don't go hitting up George in the DM trying to borrow money, sending you Cash App and stuff. Right? He'll teach you how to get to the money, man. And that's what I love about you, right? And especially when it comes to our Black community, right? Like, just people who are out there, not just there's people not withholding the fish, and not just giving out the fish, but actually teaching people how to fish at the same exact time. So everybody can fend for themselves. Everybody can really be able to build a lifestyle, bring in enough income that supports their life, supports their family, builds a legacy, allows them to pass wealth on for generations to come. And, you are leading the charge. You are one of the leaders in that regard, man, in terms of wealth development and giving people the means and the strategy, the blueprint to turn their passions into profit. And that is exactly what Move Maker Podcast is about. We're going to have to do a part 2, because I know that you got so much more, man. You got so much more. But we're gonna save that. We done gave the people more than enough to chew on, brainstorm. And I highly recommend that for those of you who are in a phase in your life, whether you're working a job or not, where you're ready to start turning your passions, turning your skill sets, turning your expertise into profit, into an income, into a business, man, you definitely need to tap in with George. So George, I want to pass it to you real quick, just to let everybody know where they can find you and what you have going on that they should absolutely plug into.
Yeah, man. So you could definitely find me on Instagram at Mr. Monetize Everything, on Clubhouse at Mr. George Pitts. Again, the reason my names are different is because I had lost my account on Instagram in May. So I had to start a new account and rebrand. It used to be just Mr. George Pitts across all platforms. Now it's still Mr. George Pitts across all platforms except Instagram. It's Mr. Monetize Everything. What I got going on right now, because I get hit up so much and got hit up so much about people like, yo, I want to create courses. Can you teach me how to do that? So we developed a training called Course to Profits, where we teach people not only how to develop a course, but how to sell it and make profits from it. There's a lot of people out there that just have, trainings where they're just telling people, just create a course. But it's like, okay, if you have a course, but you don't know how to sell it and how to grow your audience to actually sell something, because you can't just have a course and expect people to buy it if they don't know what it is. And you know what I'm saying? You don't know how to sell it. So we take people through the whole gamut of not only creating the course, coming up with the topic, validating the topic, recording it, outlining it, pricing it, all that good stuff. But we also teach them how to build a basic email list so that they can get people on their list, give them something to kind of nurture them. We also have the webinar to profits that's included in that, teaching people how to develop and build their own webinars so that they can actually sell the training. And then we have our digital marketing accelerator that teaches them how to leverage digital marketing by content planning, content pillars and strategies, how to leverage other people's content, all that good stuff to be able to grow their audience so that they can not only create a course, they can grow their audience to sell it to, and they can, nurture them through other sequences to build that know, like, and trust factor.
Love it. Love it, man. It's everything from soup to nuts, man. So listen, if y'all are out there and you are ready to build out a course and you want to do it masterfully, you want to do it the right way so you can bring in some profit, bring in some income, and really take your life and your wealth to the next level, you definitely need to tap in with my man, George Pitts. Get on that Course to Profits. Is that right? Course to Profits?
Course to Profits, yep.
Come on, man. I'm going to have a link attached in the description. Make sure you tap on that so you can get into that course while it's still available, while there's still an opportunity. Because, listen, by the time y'all hear this bad boy, I'm sure George got a whole nother course in the works right now. He got other things to make money off of. This man is always on the go, man. So, George, man, I got to tell you again, I appreciate you so much, man. I learned a lot just from hearing your story, and I'm excited, man. I'm grateful to know you. I'm grateful to be connected to you, and I definitely look forward to continue building with you, man. I really appreciate your time.
All right, man. As you say, let's go, let's grow.
Let's get it. Let's grow. Thank you for tuning into Move Maker Podcast. And we're out of here, man. Let's get it. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Move Maker Podcast. I hope that this was amazing for you. I hope that it gave you some massive inspiration to turn your gifts, your knowledge, your passions into profits in the online space. We got so many more amazing episodes coming up. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and tap the bell icon so you don't miss out on anything. My name is Monty, and I can't wait to see you again. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's grow. God bless.